Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW, had an increase of 0.56% in short interest. VMW's SI was 25.71 M shares in October as released by FINRA. It's up 0.56% from 25.57 M shares previously. With 1.97 million average volume, 13 days are for Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW, as short sellers to cover VMW's short positions. The SI to Vmware Incorporated's float is 30.61%. The stock increased 0.62%, or 72 cents during the last trading session, reaching $117.4. About shares traded. Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW, has risen 57.35% since October 20, 2016 and is uptrending. It is outperformed by 40.65% the S&P 500. Among 16 analysts covering the Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange, 6 have buy rating, 3 sell and 7 hold. Therefore 38% are positive. The Southern Company has $62 highest and $43 lowest target. $50.77 seconds average target is minus 2.37% below current's $52 stock price. The Southern Company had 43 analyst reports since July 21, 2015 according to SRatingsIntel. Mizuho maintained the stock with buy rating in Tuesday, October 17 report. The company was maintained on Thursday, April 13 by Jefferies. Argus Research downgraded Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange on Friday, March 3 to hold rating. The firm has neutral rating by SunTrust given on Monday, September 26. The stock of Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange has buy rating given on Thursday, September 14 by Guggenheim. The stock of Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange has hold rating given on Sunday, July 30 by RBC Capital Markets. On Friday, September 29, the stock rating was upgraded by RBC Capital Markets to outperform. The firm has buy rating by Jefferies given on Tuesday, June 6. The rating was initiated by Credit Suisse on Wednesday, January 25 with underperform. The stock of Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange earned underweight rating by Morgan Stanley on Thursday, August 10. The Southern Company is a holding company. The company has market cap of $51.97 billion. The firm owns all of the stock of the traditional electric operating companies and the parent entities of Southern Power Company, Southern Power, and Southern Company Gas, and owns other direct and indirect subsidiaries. It has a 79.28 P/E ratio. The company's divisions include gas distribution operations, gas marketing services, wholesale gas services, gas midstream activities and all other. Since May 5, 2017, it had 0 insider buys and 4 selling transactions for $7.40 million activity. Shares for $3.43 million were sold by Kerr to James Y on Friday, May 5. 5,000 Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange shares with value of $256,400 were sold by Dace S&P 25,000 shares were sold by Landrop Mark, worth $1.29 million on Wednesday, June 14. BDRP also sold $2.42 million worth of Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange on Wednesday, June 14. Analysts await Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange to report earnings on October 30. They expect $1.15 EPS, down 10.16%, or 13 cents from last year's $1.28 per share. SO's profit will be $1.15 billion for 11.30 PE if the $1.15 EPS becomes a reality. After 73 cents actual EPS reported by Southern Company for the previous quarter, Wall Street now forecasts 57.53% EPS growth. The stock increased 1.44%, or 74 cents during the last trading session, reaching $52. About shares traded. Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange has risen 2.49% since October 20, 2016 and is uptrending. It is underperformed by 14.21% the S&P 500. Investors' sentiment decreased to 1.16 in 2017 Q2. It's down 0.01 from 1.17 in 2017 Q1. It dropped as 60 investors sold Southern Company shares, while 330 reduced holdings. 78 funds opened positions, while 373 raised stakes. 520.53 million shares, or 0.60% less from 523.66 million shares in 2017 Q1 were reported. Cullen/Frost Bankers Incorporated holds 38,345 shares, or 0.06% of its portfolio. Hartford invested 0.22% of its portfolio in Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange. Bay State Wealth MNGMT Limited Liability invested in 0.01%, or 1,377 shares. PNC Services GP accumulated 828,113 shares. Whitnell & owns 3,135 shares. Moreover, BP Public Limited Company has 0.2% invested in Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange. For 115,000 shares. Palisade Asset MNGMT Limited Liability Company holds 0.1%, or 11,063 shares. AssetMark holds 0% or 3,521 shares in its portfolio. US Bank and Trust reported 360,359 shares stake. Smith Moran reported 12,135 shares, or 0.19% of all its holdings. CapRech investors reported 0.22% in Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange. Crawford Inn Counsel Incorporated reported 1.87% stake. Fiera Cap Corporation holds 0.01%, or 34,294 shares in its portfolio. BOCFNI invested 0.12% of its portfolio in Southern Company, New York Stock Exchange. Maryland owns 49,138 shares, or 0.34% of their U.S. portfolio. Vmware Incorporated is an information technology company. The company has market cap of $48.01 billion. The firm is engaged in development and application of virtualization technologies with x86 server computing, separating application software from the underlying hardware. It has a 36.99 PE ratio. The firm offers various products, which allow organizations to manage its resources across private clouds and multi-cloud, multi-device environments by leveraging synergies across three product categories: software-defined data center, SDDC, hybrid cloud computing, and end-user computing, UC. Investors' sentiment decreased to 1.21 in 2017 Q2. It's down 0.33 from 1.54 in 2017 Q1. It is negative, as 45 investors sold Vmware Incorporated shares, while 123 reduced holdings. 60 funds opened positions, while 143 raised stakes. 86.40 million shares, or 2.10% more from 84.63 million shares in 2017 Q1 were reported. Suncoast Equity reported 1.83% of its portfolio in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW. JAG MGMT Limited Liability reported 38,454 shares. SIPC Asset MNGMT holds 0.01%, or 16,856 shares in its portfolio. GMT Capital holds 1.21 M shares. Blair William Communication Inc. reported 2,143 shares, or 0% of all its holdings. Horizon Invest SVCS Limited Company invested in 37,531 shares. Meter Asset MNGMT has invested 0.06% in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW. Ardevora Asset Management LLP accumulated 276,900 shares. Moreover, True of Vermont has 0% invested in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW, for 14 shares. Oppenheimer Asset MGMT Incorporated holds 0% of its portfolio in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW, for 1,517 shares. Old Mutual Global, HUC, stated it has 1.72% in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW. Stephens R reported 0.07% stake. Captrust Fin has invested 0.02% of its portfolio in Vmware Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange VMW. Swiss State Bank Switzerland-based fund reported 422,061 shares. 83,600 were accumulated by Origin Asset MGMT LLP.